It looks like audio is on. Let me know if you can hear me. Trying to make sure everything's set up. I almost fell off my chair as soon as I came in here, which was funny. But yeah, things are looking good in the crypto market, which is great. Great to see some growth. Obviously, some more growth in Bitcoin, but growth in other things as well. We're going to talk about all of those things and see what's happening in the market today. But first, we're going to let people, get in here and go to subscribers only and whatnot. But I do appreciate everybody that is here. It does help out the channel. If you guys could hit the like button. If you could check out my link in the chat that I just pinned to the chat. It's for BTCC, phenomenal platform that I've been using for close to a year now, and I'm seeing some big gains, which we will go through those gains in the investments that I've made. Obviously, leverage trading is very, very risky. It's very risky, but you can be able to make a decent amount of money from it, so long as you are, taking your time, doing your research, and all the above. Just being able to be disciplined. So definitely check it out. The link will be in the chat. It'll also be in the description. I have another link for DFlow if you guys are interested in that platform more. They offer stocks and stuff. So, but yeah, link in the chat for that. But let's take some time to finish setting this up, and then we will dive into some things. I'll go into the comment section, or into the chat, see what's going on there. But I do appreciate you guys being here. So we got 55 people here. Hit that like button. Nathan, yup. Can hear you. Thank you for letting me know. That man Daryl can hear you. Thank you for letting me know. Hi, how are you doing? Thumbs up. Good morning. Hey Matt, says Jason. Thank you for being here as a member. I appreciate you for one, being a member, two, being here in the chat, and also communicating in the chat. I know it's, there's levels to it where some people may not want to communicate as much, and it's always great to have that communication back and forth. Thumbs up, Brazil. Thank you for watching. I appreciate that a lot. Let me start a poll real quick. Did you hit like button yet? But things are just looking good, right? For my obviously overall portfolio and where XRP is going, and obviously my shorter term portfolios, it's looking really, really good. So while people get comfortable in here and we talk about what's going on in the market, I want to go into, obviously I just talked about BTCC, so I want to go into that again. Start out, you can get a 10% deposit bonus if you use my link. Extra bonuses up to $10,055, 40% lower trading fees, up to a 500x leverage. And if we look at some information here, that's how I first found out that Bitcoin was at 120, even though it got to, I think, 123,000. 121,000 is just phenomenal to see that level of growth and to see the continuation of the growth. But this is BTCC. They use TradeView for their charting, so it makes it very simple for you guys to break it down, something that you're used to. Here's some of my gains that I have right now. I did take profit. Here's history. I did take profit in 310x leverages. That gave me, 200, about 200 and about $300 worth of profit from those plays, but I still hold half of those plays, right? I didn't take all of my profit from it. Ethereum, I'm up about $400 on that off of a $112 investment there because I did take half. Caspa, again, $200, up 335% on a $58 investment. AVAX, up $262 on a $93 investment. Jasmy, I'm up $235 on a $553 investment. And XRP, I'm up $281 on a $253 investment, up 111%. So things are looking good for my leverage trading account. And I'm going to continue to leverage trade, continue to see some of the long-term, short-term moves within it. And as we hit thousands, I'm going to start taking some more profit, and we'll go from there. But if you guys want to get started with leverage trading, check out the link that's in the chat. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Patreon or even on Twitter. I mean, I tend to get to those a lot slower, but feel free to reach out to me and we can talk about leverage trading and give you guys maybe a little bit of a strategy. But it's all about the discipline, That's all it is. It's all about the discipline. If you are willing to take a loss, then you set that stop loss. You don't drain your account. You live to fight another day. You find another investment that works for you. If you are not willing to take a loss, you may lose a lot in the end because you're not being disciplined to your strategy. So again, check it out if you guys want to. But where's the crypto market? Let's start here. So the crypto market is currently at a $3.8 trillion market cap, which is again phenomenal because there are many people that believe that this wouldn't even get back to a $3 trillion market cap, that it was going to all fall downhill, and that $100,000 for Bitcoin was the highest, and Ethereum is never going to get to a high point. XRP would never break $3, which it did. So there's many people that are just against anything related to crypto, but it's great to see $3.8 trillion market cap. What is not great for me, at least, it's still great overall just to see crypto flourish, but what's not great for me is I want to see altcoins move a lot more. Bitcoin still remains in the driver's seat, right? It's at 64% dominance while Ethereum is still at about 10%. I want to see that kind of spread to other things, but we're not necessarily seeing that aggressive level of money that's moving into other things because Bitcoin is still moving. Bitcoin is at a $2.4 trillion market cap. It's insane to say that one cryptocurrency is worth $2.4 trillion as of right now, right? When we talk about mass adoption and many other things that can potentially get other things up to multiple trillions of dollars worth of a market cap, I thought by the time Bitcoin gets to a $2+ trillion market cap, that Ethereum would be, at a 1 trillion or breaking close to that $1 trillion market cap. But it hasn't yet, materialized. We haven't yet seen that happen yet. So I want to see some more altcoins that are making moves. But even with that said, we're still seeing some movement in some altcoins, right? Ethereum is up by 1.7%, over $3,000. XRP is up to a $2.97 level. It's up by 5%. At a $176 billion market cap, surpassing Tether, surpassing obviously BNB and Solana, and being the third largest cryptocurrency that is out there. Seeing the level of volume, $11.6 billion is going through this, $32 billion is going through Ethereum, and $133 billion in one day, 24-hour trading volume that has gone into Bitcoin. So there's definitely a lot of hype and a lot of attention around the Bitcoin side of things. BNB, $2.2 billion worth of volume, but you're seeing a $97 billion market cap, almost at a $100 billion market cap. Solana also at a $90 billion market cap. Dogecoin, we're seeing 1.7% increase on the day, but it's at a $30 billion market cap. There's a lot more to go there. ADA seeing a 1.5% increase. $26.5 billion market cap. If we look at things that are moving the most in the top 100, we're looking at XCN. That's up by 16%. That's up 16% at a $685 million market cap. SUI is up 14%, $13.6 billion market cap. XDC, seeing the movement there, especially after XLM was moving recently. And we could see that at a 12% increase or $1.3 billion market cap. Algorand is also seeing a little bit of movement. We did see Kronos was making a huge move, up by 6% or 11 cents here, approaching, I believe, my cost basis, I want to say, my overall cost basis. When it comes to my my buying $10 worth of CRO every day, I'm over that cost basis. So I'm actually profitable on that again, which is great. JasmyCoin is up by 6 or 7%. It's at a 1.6 or almost 1.7 cent level. There's so much more growth there, so much more ready to go. I still have my JasmyCoin. I saw somebody mention Jasmy. What about Jasmy, please? Jasmy looks great. Is it at the highest level that it could be? No. Is it seeing a decent amount of volume? Yeah, decent amount, right? 145 million, but it should be a lot more as we move forward into actual altcoin season, right? This is not altcoin season. We're just seeing some different positions that are moving a little bit more than others, right? JasmyCoin again up 7%, 1.7 cents, almost a $1 billion market cap. I still hold 1 million JasmyCoin. I also have short-term Jasmy that is a 2x leverage over here that I put $553 into, just so I can see a decent amount of profit as we move forward. And it's going to be the short-term profit so that it gives me the ability to hold my longer-term JasmyCoin for a little bit longer rather than take that profit now. Because if I get $4,000 from this JasmyCoin, from this short-term profit here, I don't necessarily need to take my initial investment over there, right? I may still do that as we hit certain exit plans, but I don't necessarily need to because I collected my initial investment over here, as long as I can collect $4,500, which would be my total initial investment. So from that to this, which is $553 that I put in here, if I can collect $4,553, that is all of my initial investment, and I can kind of push JasmyCoin a little bit further. If you guys are wondering, this is BTCC. We talked about it earlier when we had like 30 people here. If you guys wanted to start leverage trading, check out this link in the chat for BTCC, 10% deposit bonus, extra bonuses up to $10,055 and 40% lower trading fees. So feel free to check that out. It's in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. But yeah, things look great in the markets, right? I'm looking at some of the biggest news. We'll kind of go into this a little bit more, and then we'll get into the chat and see what people are saying. But some major news, I like to use AI now instead of using like a certain site, which some of them come from other sites, but they kind of give you some of the biggest news that's out there, right? Bitcoin breaks 123,000 institutional adoption rises. Bitcoin reaches a new all-time high, exceeding 123,000 per coin. Analysts link this surge to increasing institutional adoption and significant inflows into U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs, including BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin ETF, IBIT, which now holds over 700,000 Bitcoin. This also means Bitcoin's market capitalization has surged that of major companies like Amazon, making it the 5th largest asset globally. Some analysts predict Bitcoin could reach 130,000 to 150,000 by the end of 2025. It's interesting because the last thing that I read, they said it was going to reach 130,000, and now they kind of added that extra piece into it, gave you 130,000, a range of 130 to 150, because it's amazing to see the level of growth that we've seen in this short period of time that we have seen it. U.S. Congress focus on crypto. U.S. House of Representatives is dedicating a crypto week to debate and vote on several bills aimed to regulating the crypto market. Legislation includes the Genius Act, you have the Clarity Act, you have the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, would prohibit the Federal Reserve from issuing a retail CBDC. To define whether cryptocurrency is a security or a commodity, and clarifying the jurisdiction of SEC and CFTC over digital assets. So like you're seeing all the news, all where crypto is today. It's just, again, I have no other words but phenomenal. It is fantastic to see how much crypto is in the news, how much crypto is in conversations for governments, how much people are talking to me about crypto rather than me going out of my way asking them, hey, do you invest into crypto? What do you invest into? All of that. And they're like, I can say that I talk about crypto on my YouTube channel, and they'll ask me all these questions, or, oh, I saw this about Bitcoin and this is what they're going to do, creating a reserve, and this is what we're looking at when it comes to the ETFs. Are they secure? Should I invest into it? And just many questions to me rather than, me asking them questions, which is always an interesting turn of events. Because there was a time where when you would mention cryptocurrency and people were like, I don't invest into that stuff. It's all fake. It's all not real. And then now everybody's asking about it, right? So It's just very interesting. All right. Anyways, I did a lot of talking here, which I'm going to continue to do talking because you guys really can't talk back. But how's everybody doing today? Good morning to the 172 people that are here. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so. I would like to get to 100 likes, and it would be great if we could get to that level. Also, again, if you guys want to check out my link for either BTCC or DFlow, both of those links are in the description. But I do have a link for BTCC in the chat. Yo, good morning, Mario. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you as well. My next set is for the lurkers. What does that mean? XCN just popped. Anyone that cares, I don't have it, but I have seen that it made a move, so that's great. How much do you have? Do you have a decent amount or an extraordinary amount? Let me know. Hi, bro. What's going on, Michael? Thank you for watching. What about Jasmy, please? I just talked about that. I don't forget Jasmy. Any latest updates on XRP? Not anything that's crazy, right? Nothing that is like blaring news, right? We're just going through kind of the motions a little bit. Most of what we're seeing is catered towards Bitcoin, it seems like. Whether you have, all-encompassing ETFs or ETFs that are dropping or whatever, right? It's all really catered towards what's going on with Bitcoin and the focus there, but then kind of driving or putting other things kind of in the background of what those things are. If you're looking to have an ETF with 75% Bitcoin, you might have 10% Ethereum, 5% XRP, or 1% XRP. But the point is that it's there. And that's kind of all I've seen. I don't really see much, any major things. There's always some newer predictions that are out there. And newer, maybe even behind the scenes partnerships in a way, but it's not 100% confirmed on all the things that are taking place that are behind the scenes. So it's like you want to talk about it, but you also don't want to make it seem like this is 100% a done deal. You know what I mean? So different altcoins and the things that are in the news, they have the broader crypto rally is also benefiting major altcoins, including XRP, Solana, and Dogecoin. For example, XRP is nearing $3, which it did break $3, and analysts believe it could reach $6 if it surpasses that mark, which it did surpass that mark, and it can reach $6. It's going to reach more than $6. So I can't wait for that. Can Dogecoin hit 45 cents this bull run? Yes, I do believe that we are actually going to see a Dogecoin surpass $1 in this bull run. We saw it resist away in the last bull run, but this bull run, we're going to see extraordinary numbers when it comes to the market caps. And yes, I understand it is a meme coin, but actually Dogecoin, from the I would say the push that we've seen, the conversations, the actual adoption in a way, we can see a little bit more than that than just a meme coin, but inherently it is still a meme coin. It just has a lot of popularity. So I do see some meme coins breaking the $100 billion barrier when it comes to the market cap, and Dogecoin being one of those. I actually see Shiba Inu doing that as well. It's just Shiba Inu hasn't had the hype that it had in the past, but it will have that hype as money starts to trickle down to altcoins. It just depends how much took away from that market share, because just like anything, meme coins only have a certain amount of market share, where normal people, right, people that want to invest into everything and see quick gains as well as long-term gains, you only have a certain amount of money that's driving from that. So I still do see them breaking $100 billion barriers. So with that, obviously Dogecoin would have to get to a $150 billion market cap in order to break that ceiling, which is not insane, looking at where it did get to in the past, which I believe was high tens of billions of dollars, almost breaking the $100 billion level for a meme coin, which is crazy for last bull run. Just wait until we see with all of the people that are interested in crypto now and seeing the things that are flourishing and how much FOMO goes into it, I expect to see a lot more. So yeah, I think it definitely can hit 45 cents and probably further. So if your exit plan starts at 45 cents, that's good. Or if your exit plan is in the middle of the road at 45 cents, that's also good. But there are also other opportunities, because if you're looking for Dogecoin, let's say to hit 45 cents, let's go and break this down just a little bit more. If we go back to CoinMarketCap and search from the highest market caps to the lowest market cap, Dogecoin is sitting at a $30 billion market cap. If it does get to a 150 or a $1 price point, let's say it's currently at a 20-cent price point. If it does get to a $100 price point, or 45 cents, let's say it's going to double, right? You're really only looking at a 2x. If for an investor standpoint, that's amazing. One, if you are typically used to investing into the stock market, but there's also other opportunities that can give you a lot more than just a 2x to 45 cents. You know what I mean? So you have to kind of break things down a little bit. Do you want to invest $5,000 into the thing that can get you, a 2x or 3x, maybe 4x? Or do you want to invest into maybe something else that, one, has utility, has a lot of upside, has potential adoption, and obviously can go a lot further? It could be XRP, it could be Litecoin, right? I think Litecoin is a great play. It could be ADA, which has a potential chance to get to a $250 billion market cap, which would be about a 10x from where we are right now. So it all depends on what you believe in and what you see going forward. If you just want a quick gain, then you can find those in some meme coins, but it's not more than just the gain. If you want some adoption, you want to find things like a Bitcoin, like an Ethereum, like an XRP, like an ADA or AVAX or something that just gives you a little bit more than just, oh, this has FOMO. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. Buy you dip at 15,000 holders, been out for 12 days and 19 hours. I tend to not trust many things like that, but there are high risk plays that you can make money from. I'm not saying that that's the case, that you won't make money from it, but if you see opportunity, then take that opportunity. What's your current views on CRO and its growth? So one, I like CRO's growth right now. If we focus in on what's the biggest growers currently, we're looking at CRO as number 9 there, and sitting at a 6.5% gain. You're also seeing an 11-cent level. Now, is it at the max that I believe it's going to get to? No, I think it's going to get to multiple dollars and have the opportunity to get to multiple dollars. But the issue that's still, it's a huge issue with me and a lot of other people, is the supply. Circulating supply sitting at a 31 billion coins. That's fine, right? But obviously offering the 70 billion, if you have any type of burn rate or deflationary aspect to it, it's no longer deflationary because of all of the introduction of the 100 billion coins, the reintroduction of 100 billion coins that were actually burned, right? And that's one big problem that I have with them. But I still do like all of the things that CRO and crypto.com are implementing, right? For the use of CRO, because if you look at CRO, it's seeing a 6 or 7% growth today in the last 24 hours, 37% growth in the last 7 days. But if you look at the volume isn't substantial, right? It's a $67 million day. And that's because majority of CRO's strength comes from the people that are holding it, comes from the stakeability of it, comes from the potential use of CRO and the gain of CRO. So I like what CRO is. I just don't like the fact that they reissued the 70 billion coins. I mean, they did what they did, and we have to go on with it and see what that looks like from here on out, because they are going to continue to offer more of those coins, because right now not all of them are released. So they're going to keep releasing those coins over a schedule. And that may be something that does decrease the value of CRO. However, the use will still be there in the end. So it's interesting to see what it will be. And I will have some for the long term just to see, because 100 billion coins isn't really that much, but it still does. It's like a punch in the gut for a lot of people and investors that believed that CRO would be, you say Perry Hawk, a lot of people believe that CRO would be, um, would have that lower supply rather than that larger supply. um, I heard that Ripple is replacing Swift. Is that correct? I heard that there is a potential chance that that is kind of what their mission looks like it's going to be. I'm not saying that's 100%, but at least take up the market share. I haven't seen that it's replacing it, like buying it out and replacing it. Um, but I believe that's the mission in the end, is to kind of replace what they have going there. But not only just with that, but also see other aspects of the implementation of Ripple's payment option. Does the new crypto bills remove the Howey test? I don't think so. I think that's still in there, but I haven't read um, anything about that. Those tend to be extensive and also include a lot of what they would call like jargon. Is that is that the word they use? A lot of junk that I won't really care about, but um, they care about. So that's interesting. That's an interesting question. Um, that's maybe it'll be a clear answer on Google AI. I don't think so, because the removal of the Howey test would also mean removal of prior bills. But um, let's see. Whoops. Don't know why I did that. U.S. proposed digital asset marketing structuring bill, referred to as 521, clarity and provide regulatory clarity for digital assets. Do not explicitly remove the Howey test. Instead, they attempt to create a new classification for digital assets that could potentially bypass or modify the application of the Howey test. So I don't know if you heard that, but it's basically like it's not something that removes the Howey test. However, it could potentially bypass or modify the application of the Howey test. So that's very interesting. That's a great question, by the way. We have 221 people here. If you guys can hit the like button and get me up to about 150 likes, that would be amazing. Also, again, if you guys want to check out my link for BTCC, link is in the chat. You can get a 10% deposit bonus, extra bonuses up to $10,055, depending on different thresholds that you hit, 40% lower trading fees, and you could trade all the way up to a 500x leverage. I do not recommend that though. 500x leverage is very tough because you basically drop by 0.5% and you lose everything. So it's very, very risky to do so. I typically will hover around a 2x leverage to 10x leverage. I don't really do much more than that. I have done a 500x leverage. Granted, I have been profitable on all four of the 500x leverages that I've done. And honestly, I attribute it to luck. Like it's not necessarily luck. It might just be the right timing at that time, because typically I do a 500x leverage. Like if the market tanks a massive amount, then I'm going to try and find where the low point is, see the double lows, and then that's where I will invest at a 500x leverage. But I'll do like a $20 500x leverage rather than do a $100 500x leverage. But then when I get to where it's iffy, where I know it may bounce off of a 200 EMA here, right, or a 15 moving average, I decide to do maybe a 5x leverage, maybe a 10x leverage. And if I feel strongly about something for the long term, it's a 3 to 2x leverage, right? Where if it drops by 50%, I lose everything, which the likelihood of it dropping by 50% is unlikely, especially down at these low levels. However, it still can happen. Or if XRP drops by 33%, then I end up losing everything. So I try to make sure that I'm very disciplined. That's how that works. So feel free to check out the link. It's in the chat if you guys are interested, if you want to make some of these gains. But also reach out to me and see if you can develop a strategy, because you can do the demo platform as well, so you could do demo trading. Like if I go over here to my demo trading platform, I'm switching to that. I have a trade that's still sitting in there for Ethereum. I did this trade when it was at $1,500. If I just put $1,000 in there at a 3x leverage for $1,500, my current price, well, it's $3,000. I gained $3,008, 300% of a gain from that point for a 3x leverage. If you find a low point, that's something that you believe in. I've had this since I started this demo trading account to see how far that does go and how much I could have gained if it was low and slow, rather than trying to be fast and pull money out and predict the market and all of that. Granted, I didn't make that much money from the plays that I've put in there, but still, just finding a simple way to do it, finding a play, doing a 3x leverage, believing in that as you move forward, right? It's great. But that's my demo trading platform, and you can trade to create a strategy, and then you go over to live trading, and you're like, all right, let's change back over to live trading, and then you can start trading however you want to trade. So again, check it out. Link is in the chat. It's fun to leverage trade. Don't consider it gambling if you know what you're doing. Let's see. But that's a good question about the Howey test. I appreciate that, because now that gives me a little bit more information. What do you think about JasmyCoin? What levels do you think it'll get to this bull run? When are you going to take profits? So my first take profit for JasmyCoin is actually 10 cents. It's not a crazy amount. That would be a $100,000 price point. Now, it will change if I end up taking profit through my leverage trading ones, because I do have one that's $500 here. So if it gets to a level of 10 cents or 5 cents or whatever, like if I go in here and do my take profit and it gets to 0.5 cents, that is $2,892 that I can take that entire profit if I wanted to, which would take away from the initial investment, meaning that I don't need to take my initial investment from that, which would be about $100,000 of total, and then it would be $10,000 that I would take. So, yeah, but that's my first take profit, is about 10 cents on the 1 million JasmyCoin that I have. However, I believe that it's going to get to levels within this bull run. I believe there's, first of all, this year, I want to see a level of 10 to 20 cents. That's where I want to see this year. However, I do see it getting to the value of $1, if not more than that, $1.50, depending on what gets implemented there and how much JasmyCoin we see comes off the table based on its normal processes. So I essentially see it getting to that level of $1 or $1.50, and that's what I'm kind of pushing for as my high levels. But I still have exit plans going forward, hitting 10 cents, 25, 50 cents, 75, and so on and so forth, just to be able to take profits. And you never know what's going to happen in the crypto market and how far it could tank. Now, I don't believe that we're going to see a huge bear market. I think that with the level of adoption and the fact that we see ETFs and traditionalists that are getting into it, there's going to be less of a pullout, and you may end up seeing only, instead of a 70 or 80% drop like we typically see, we may only see a 40 to 50% drop, which is still significant, but it's not going to be as big as what we've seen in the past, meaning that cryptocurrency markets are going to get stronger and stronger. With more ETFs comes more stability, right? That's just how that goes. And we may see, in the end, in bear markets, we might end up seeing a 10 to 15% drop as a max. But this bear market, I don't think will be as bad. That's just my opinion. It's all based off of what I've seen in the past from, adoption in certain sectors. But obviously, crypto still has a lot of people that they're going to believe that it does something, and it's based off of what majority of people do, rather than just what a business is doing or what a project is doing. Won't let me hit the like button. Well, I appreciate you trying. Oh, never mind. Oh, it did hit the like. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Shit, I'm way behind. Um, Look at the truth. XRP is getting tested as we speak in your banks, European banks, as well as some activity in Japan. XRP is going to bring so much market when it gets adopted into our banking system. I don't disagree with you. Matt, do you think though they will reburn any coins for what? For CRO or for um, XRP, or what do you mean? But when it comes to XRP, um, I believe that you're right about the adoption and how big it's going to be. And it's just crazy to me to see the comments that I get on some of these videos where they're like, "Get real, XRP is not going to make these moves. XRP is going to be worth nothing," and bringing up the fact that you could see a Fed buyback, or you might not, or you see it implemented in our banking system is just, it's crazy to me to see all of those comments that come across. And I'm just like, I mean, everybody can speak their mind. They can say whatever they want. It doesn't mean that it's going to change my mind, and it doesn't mean that it's going to change everybody's mind that's strong in XRP. What's unfortunate is the fact that anybody that's making that decision now sees like this, because I don't delete comments. I add the comments there, and anybody that sees this and feels any type of way, and obviously they read it, they feel strongly about what they're reading there, they may end up going, you know what, they're right. We've never seen that in the stock market, which would be wrong, right? But they're looking at current history or even recent history, and they're like, um, we've never really seen that. And the fact that we've never seen this level of growth in markets is why it won't happen. But in reality, if you look at speculation in the past and how far that has driven profits for a lot of plays, even something as recent as Tesla, speculation of Tesla failing is what, and then continuing to double down on those shorts is what made Tesla stronger. Many people were like, I'm going to buy into that. Whether you were for Tesla or against Tesla or against Elon Musk or for Elon Musk, whatever, it doesn't defeat the fact that Tesla had massive gains because of the fact that they thought Tesla was just going to fail. They continued to short it, continued to not believe in it. But if many of mainstream continue to do the same thing that they were doing, like, oh, I'm going to back off because everybody believes Tesla should be shorted, but then Tesla runs to ridiculous levels, they're left on the sideline while people that believed in it are seeing massive growth and are able to see thousands, tens, or hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even millions of dollars worth of gains because they didn't feel like they needed to believe in what they were talking about. They didn't need to believe in the mainstream media there, whatever that media source is. It doesn't matter what it is. They're just trying to keep things down, and whatever they want to fight, they will continue to fight. But for me, I'm going to invest into what I want to invest into because I believe in it, right? I've done the research. I don't care what research you've done, right? I'm going to listen to what you have to say a little bit and probably apply it to some extent to what I'm doing here, but it doesn't change what I invested into. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Matt, do you think they will? I read that. Do you think they will reburn coins? I don't know what you're talking about, so hopefully Jonathan Sanchez, you can clarify that. Someone said Perry Hulk, like I've been working out or something. I've been working out a little bit, not as much, but still, I'm working out a little bit. Um, what will happen if XRP joins forces with Swift and payment system? I feel like you'll see. Um, I, I feel like there has to be some sort of market share in a way, but it's just what's going to be widely accepted, what's going to be widely adopted. You know what I mean? So I don't know about joining forces per se, unless that's a part of the plan that I haven't seen. But having competition in a way and what you can use obviously drives innovation. So it's not bad. Would be nice to see Jasmy above 2 cents. I mean, we've seen it for the longest time. It was above 2 cents, and it didn't phase me to sell it at 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 cents. Ripple will get bank license. What will happen to XRP? Will it touch the moon? Depends what you think the moon is. I mean, it also depends on what people are going to do. I think there's there's levels to it, but I don't think it's just that'll kind of push it to the moon. I think there's so much more that can push it to higher levels. So I wouldn't just say that. Oh, do you think there will be burns when it joins forces or with Swift? XRP, let's go. Wow, Shiba Inu and Manny U. Follow another. Are you trying to push whatever Manny U is? Um, let's go. Price discovery. What is that? Um, is that another play or is that something that we should be using? XRP is trying to hold over $3. Right now, we hit 303. I know. I saw that XRP hit 301 recently, and now it's currently at 301. I think the highest point, like you said, I think was 303. Once XRP dumps this week, the Moon Boys will be crying. You're saying that once XRP completely dumps, that everybody that believes in XRP running will be crying about the fact that they didn't sell. Look, XRP, whether you believe in it now or for a week or for a month or even over multiple bull runs, you have to understand that it takes a while to fully implement things and to get the full backing and support of banks, of governments, of countries, of the people in general. So it's not something that I'm like, oh, I need to see this happen tomorrow. If it does, fantastic, right? I have certain exit plans that's going to get me profit in the short term, but also I have a certain amount that I plan on using in the long term, right? For an actual use. So it's not necessarily just something where I'm like, I want to gain a crazy amount in 5 minutes and just not be a part of XRP anymore. No, I know it's a long term situation that could take 5 years, it could take 10 years. And I'm perfectly fine with that because there's a difference between being more of a moon boy, per se. I'll use your term, moon boy for um, a meme coin. But when it comes to something that actually has solid utility, actually is going to be adopted, actually is accepted in a way, by governments, by countries, by people, by banks, by payment systems, by all that, right? Um, that's a completely different story, completely different shape or shade of what you're looking at when it comes to cryptocurrency. That can shape up to be a lot bigger than what you believe it to be. So that's up to you. You can say whatever you want. I'm not going to hold you back unless obviously you're attacking somebody. But I'm not going to be crying as a person that truly believes in XRP and higher levels of XRP. Of course, I've already made and cashed out 500% gains in XRP, but now I hear all the people who bought my bag claim it's going to $589. I mean, look, everybody has their price targets that they want to gain for the investment side of things. When it comes to speculative investments, that's what it's all about. It's all about those short-term gains and how much you can gain there, and then the level of consistency that it can have in the end. So whether it can get to 589,000 or $589 is kind of a moot point. I feel like that's just a price prediction that one person has. The next person may have a price prediction of $10, $20, $100, or even $1,000, or $37,500, depending on the different things that happen there. So I'm excited for the unknown. When you have higher than high price predictions that give you this adoption could happen, this price could happen, this acceptance could happen, this price could happen, right? This government system could take over, XRP, and this could happen, right? So, with all of this speculation, it creates kind of these wild price predictions, like wildly different price predictions, which means that you don't go, oh, it's getting to $5, everybody sell everything, or it's getting to $10, everybody sell everything, right? It gets to $5 because it has adoption. Now they're going to use it. It's going to be worth more. It's something that has value to appreciate, or it's an asset that can appreciate versus something that will depreciate after a certain set, right? When we talk about Shiba Inu, we're like, it gets to a penny. That's that's a high level that's going to get to at the current supply level. If it gets to $1, I'm selling everything. That's the mindset that kind of brings like, oh, panic sell type of mindset in the end. And most of that happens with meme coins, but XRP is not that. So I'm excited. XRP did a 3x, pretty horrible. It will be passed by meme coins. I mean, that's your opinion. I'm bullish on CRO because of the 25x. Is very possible to a $50 billion market cap. I think a $50 billion market cap, 25x to a 50 billion. I feel like it's a 10x to a $30 billion. What is that? $3 billion right now? Where's CRO? There it is. It's at a $3.4 billion market cap. To a $34 billion market cap is a 10x, so that's not accurate. But yeah, getting to a $50 billion market cap is definitely going to happen. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where your 25 is coming from. CRO is not doing a 50x, brother. I wasn't going to say that. Who said 50x? Oh my God, this guy is going live now. Brace yourself. Crypto is going down. I mean, that's, again, your opinion. You can be here. You can say whatever you feel. It's also attributing to my algorithm in a way, so I appreciate you. XRP is hitting $3.15 tonight. Do you think TLC will delete a zero soon? TLC. Why can I not? Do I know what TLC is? TLC chain at a $952 million market cap. Price is not tracked. It looks like there's a couple of things that the price is not tracked. I don't see anything for TLC. What's TLC? Tender love and care. All ISO 220 coins are doing well. Yeah, I believe in XRP. It's gonna buy my homestead. I believe in XRP for the long term. It's gonna buy my homestead. I mean, look, everybody has their gains and what their gains are earmarked for. For me, I can tell you majority of what I gain within it, minus taxes, of course, is going into my dividend portfolio or our dividend portfolio. And we're going to see that kind of just be able to easily pay our bills without having to do anything. Granted, we still will do a lot, just to be able to work that up to get to a level that it can do much more than that. You know, Jasmine Gang, let's go. Lunic is at 0.0003, or Lunic is at, or Lunic 2.0003. Terra Luna Classic, I'll have to look at that in a second. Ondu, your opinion on it and the price prediction? I haven't looked into it much. I've seen it a couple of times, but I haven't actually dove into, what it is, how far it can go, or anything like that. You're looking at how much supply? So they added market cap to TVL. That's interesting to add there. Volume to market cap ratio is about 9%. Total supply 10 billion, while you see the 3.15 billion, or about 31% of the overall supply that is there. So it's not a major amount of dilution you could have, but decent. 100% increase in volume, obviously, for this day at a $2.9 billion market cap. I don't really have any expectations on it, especially since I haven't dove into or haven't seen the effects from the previous bull run. So I don't know how it's going to be adopted, but we are seeing we have seen a decent amount of increasing to a level of about $2 or so. Granted, you do have more supply, so you're looking at a $5 billion market cap versus the $3 billion market cap that is here. So even if you do decide to get to, let's say you get to a dollar, right? Or sorry, yeah, you get to $1. It's going to be a $3.15 billion market cap. A $2 level again would actually be a $6 billion market cap. So more supply was added since that point. And I don't know if they're going to continue to add in any way. but that's something that does always worry me when you see dilution. But it all depends on what they're looking to do. I haven't dove into what they're doing and how much people are adopting it, and how much acceptance it has. Community sentiment is high, but it seems like community sentiment is high on a lot of cryptocurrencies because it's really only by that community. You don't have many people that are looking at that play that are outside of the community. Do you know what I mean? So typically it's based on everybody that wants to be a part of it. They see it, they want to say, oh, I'm bullish on it or bearish on it. Because I'm not looking at it, I haven't done either. I haven't said I'm bullish or bearish, meaning that I'm not a part of this, but somebody that is in the community is a part of it. What are your thoughts on Grok? I still have Grok. I still think Grok is going to be a decent position. By no means is it going to be the largest meme coin that's out there, but I think it's going to be one that increases percentage wise a lot higher than some of the top meme coins that are there. I still have my 1 million Grok, and honestly, I should be buying more, but at these levels, especially if I do believe in it, because I can profit off of 1 million and then see the other million grow a little bit further. But, I'll let my million sit there and we'll see that grow as time goes on. Somebody asked me about something. I said I would check into. Oh, it was Terra Luna Classic. Where is Lunic right now? So Terra Luna Classic is not up a lot. Someone said it was at 0.0003, or they were saying it's going to get to 0.0003. I think yes, we're going to see those levels. Let me go back a year. But seeing where we are now, it's kind of definitely still a buying point for a lot of people. I still have my Terra Luna Classic 54 million. I think it's 54 or 55 million. And I see a lot more success than where we are here today, and the FOMO that's going to come in out of nowhere. We tend to see that when altcoin season truly does happen and people are looking for those next best plays, ones that have a lot of FOMO, ones that have a lot of drive, it's going to be there. I still have BOEM as well. It hasn't seen much of an impact. I think BOEM, actually, I think I'm wrong. Has BOEM seen much of an impact recently? It's up by 2%, but it's at a 18% of a penny level. So $128 million market cap, has all that supply that's out there. And, I still believe that we could see a lot more in this play. XRP to a higher moon. XRP to 500 by the end of 2026. That would be amazing, but I'm not saying that that's really the case. That would be amazing to see. One, like I said, majority of my short-term, even some long-term investments are getting to a certain price level, and I think majority of what I hold doesn't need to be held over $100, but I still will have a decent amount over $100 to one, use, two, trade with, and three, just hold forever, because I will have my forever coins as well. So my plan is set. Have to do your due diligence on tax research to get your tax to zero. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Not with the gains that you can get in the crypto market to get your tax to zero. My regular tax, my normal tax, yes, I can get it to zero, very easily structured. But I mean, with paying quarterly, typically I can as well. But any gains that I have over the year, that's a different story. And again, I'm not a tax professional. I would love to have an account to limit how much I'm going to pay in taxes. But I always know that I pay a decent amount in taxes. Are we going to retrace? As a major, I don't. Well, one, I don't know if I'm responding to this the right way. Are we going to see retracements? I mean, typically after you see major highs that are hit, you see retracements, but Bitcoin hasn't really retraced hard from the multiple highs that it breaks, right? It got to 112,000, retraced from there a little bit, but then broke above 112, broke to 115, 118, 119, broke 120, got to 121, 22, 23. Like, it's insane of how it doesn't hold or react to like resistances well or supports well, which is good and bad at the same time. Because if I'm trying to trade short term, it's very difficult to predict, like, oh, this got to 120,000. You would think that you would be able to short it, but no, you can't, because now it's at 100. Now it's at 123,000, or a baseline of 121,000. So the retracement is just not. It doesn't always show, oh, the RSI is oversold, so now I can retrace it. Now I can short the position or short the market. That's not how it works. I've fallen short on many of those short plays where if the market is running, you kind of have to just let it run. It's so difficult to predict. I think it's more difficult to predict when a market is reaching its high versus when it reaches its low. You know, when a market reaches its low, it's kind of easy to see that people kind of tail off a little bit. Like they you see people that give up on the market. You see the strength of how much it's falling and the levels that it's going to hit. Those low levels are kind of strong. The high levels are not strong at all. Right? They break through those high levels, especially Bitcoin. It breaks through those high levels like it's a paper ceiling. Hope they answer your question. Third week in November will be a done deal on proposed deadline. Good morning, sir. What's your thoughts on Compound? I don't hold Compound anymore, but I did want to buy it. I don't think BTCC offered it, and maybe I'm wrong. I thought they didn't offer it. I guess they do, but they don't. Oh, they don't offer a or they do offer a leverage on it. You can trade futures on it. Interesting. And so I wanted to buy Compound. And I still honestly don't think Compound is at a super high price. Yes, it is at a higher price than where it was of $40. And you honestly could have had a massive increase there just looking at this chart. But I like Compound for the future. And honestly, the growth that we've seen in the past, I expect to see more of that in this bull run. So $50 is still a low point compared to what the high point will be. It's just, I always like to find the lows and buy at those lows. And right now, it's up by 7%, 7.6% today, which is great. I don't hold any Compound anymore. At least I don't think I do. Sometimes I don't know because I have a lot of cryptocurrency. So let me go over to Coinbase really quick. I might be logged in. I don't think I do, because if I did, that would be where I held it. So no, I have Teller, which I think that's still going to be worth a decent amount. Cosmos. Well, I have Tether that's in there. I got to sell that Tether. I don't have any Compound. I think I had Compound in my one of my leverage trading platforms, but it's not in BTCC, which I should have it. So let me zoom out a bit and auto focus it. So where it is compared to some of the high points that it got to December 2024 of $139, it can easily get back there again. It's just the low points are really low, meaning that you could have had a leverage trade of a 3x leverage or even a 10x leverage at those levels. Right now, if I would do it, I would probably have to do a 2x leverage. So it would have to be a higher amount at a 2x leverage, meaning that if it gets down to $25, I lose everything. However, I don't believe it's going to get down to $25. It hasn't reached down to $25 ever in the last at least in the last 3 years or so. So that's not a bad play, and I might have to do it because I have some open funds I believe that I can use. I don't know what open funds I have. Most used. My balance is 3,000. My P&L is up by Sorry, I was trying to show you stuff and I didn't even show you it. But yeah, I'm thinking that I might have to go with a compound. I wish I would have done it a little bit sooner, but this might be something that I'm negative on just as of right now. But I might have to do like a $500 level at a 2x leverage, giving me $1,000 that I've invested with, and then seeing the growth from there and being able to profit off of that. That's not bad. Slightest pullback. Market is so correlated. Matt, I meant unburn any CRO coins. Do you mean that, or you mean like reburn any CRO? Do you think they're gonna reburn any CRO? Well, right now they have to offer all the CRO, so they're gonna release all of it over time, and then they may end up burning it. However, I don't know if that process is going to remain the same, or is it going to be something that they just continue to like offer it and then they end up burning it over time, whatever they don't use. So typically, the way that I'm looking at it, right? I'm not saying that this is what they're doing because they didn't say that they're doing this. But what I would see within it, right? The current value of CRO is at $3 billion, right? So let's say they offered another 30 billion coins. If they offered another 30 billion coins at whatever this evaluation is, because currently they have 30 billion, you would be looking at them being able to have $3 billion to use towards funding. Now, as they offer all of these and they get whatever funding they have and use it towards different projects that they're looking to launch, they may not need all of that money. So when they have all that money, eventually they get to a point where all of it is offered and then they end up reburning the coins that they didn't use, right? That's not being used, because then you're at a higher value. You reburn, it increases the value again, right? So I would assume that we're going to see burns in the future as they don't use some of that money. However, it still opens up the door to the fact that if they want to do something else, they can be like, all right, well, I want to get back to the original 100 billion coins. So let me put out a proposal to reissue, I don't know, whatever they didn't burn off, right? Or whatever they did burn off, which is maybe 30 or 50 billion coins. So it just seems like it's going to be like a revolving door. But what I care about is the short-term value that I'm going to be able to gain from it. Whatever I'm holding in the long term, if they decide to do those burns, what that's going to increase the value to. And then I can take profit on that as well and also see the long-term impact in the end. So I think there's a lot of what ifs there, but it's very interesting. Make sure you guys hit the like button. We got 233 people that are here. I would like to get to 230 likes as of right now. Obviously, we're over the 10% like threshold for how many views we have. Right now, the current amount of views that we have is 1,800. We have 210 likes, which is great for the like to view ratio. So I appreciate you guys for taking the time out of your day to like the video, to watch the video, to give me your opinion, whether it's negative or positive. I appreciate your opinion a lot. I'm not here to say that you need to invest into this or don't invest into this or put all your money into these things. I want you guys to make your own decisions. And when you make your own decisions on what you invest into, you feel that much better, right? You feel that much better about the investment that you're making. You feel that much better about your future strategy, and also just about holding whatever you want to hold. You feel better because you've done the research. So whether I do research or you add on to that, I want to see you guys make your own decisions and be confident in those decisions. And if you make money out of it, don't thank me and say, hey, Matt, I'm glad you told me to invest into this. I'm glad that you decided to do the research, pull the trigger on buying it, and being able to sell it for a profit whenever you did get to that point. Like, that's what I want to say, is give yourself some credit. But yeah, again, if you guys want to start leverage trading, feel free to check out my link for BTCC. That link is in the chat. It's also in the description. I also have a link for DFlow if you guys are interested in that. They have leverage trading over there. They also have stocks trading as well. But you can check out my link for DFlow, get a 10% deposit bonus, extra bonuses up to $10,055, 40% lower trading fees, up to 500x leverage, all of that stuff. It honestly is great. Like, I wouldn't be showing you guys the profit that I'm making if it wasn't great, if it hasn't been a great experience. They also have offered the ability to do isolated leverage. You can do an isolated leverage. You can do a cross leverage. Whatever you feel like doing, you can do that. But on a select few that you do that. But if you look at these gains again, 345%, 322%, 280%, 39%, 110%. We're gaining a lot here, and I'm excited to say that I'm continuing to add more. I'm probably going to add a position in CRO, or sorry, in compound, because I don't believe it's going to drop down by that much. So what I can do, I think I have enough to add value into, not demo trading, add value into comp, and I want to do maybe a 2x leverage. So let's do that. Just a simple 2x leverage, and I want to throw a price here. Do I have enough? Contract value. How much am I putting in? I want to put a margin of 500. Margin of 500, that's going to give me $1,000 I'm investing with, add a 2x leverage, and then I'm going to go ahead and set that, and I'm going to open up. I'm going to open it up. And then what I'm also going to do, it may be negative at the time, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a stop loss. That stop loss is going to be at 50%, meaning that I lose everything if it decides to go down to $24.96, which I don't believe it'll happen, but anything could happen. Now, what would have been safer is probably doing not safer, but what would have been a little bit more risky, that would have given me more in the end, is doing a 3x leverage, doing maybe $500, and I'll have 1,500. But I'm going to stick with that, and I'm going to confirm, and I'm going to keep that on there. That's going to be my next trade that I made. And obviously, as I get to other profits, I believe that this can get to $1,998 profit in what I hold there. That is phenomenal. I will take that any day of the week. Right now, granted, will it get to that point? It really all depends on the things that are happening. Now, I believe that it will, but even if it gets to $100, that's a $1,000 profit. And if we see it get to $150, that's a $2,000 profit. So I'm giving myself a little bit of a safe investment while also risking less while doing that. So again, feel free to check it out. Link is in the description, in the chat as well. And if you have any questions, reach out to me on Patreon. I get notifications on my phone, whether somebody reaches out to me directly, private messages. So let me know. What do you think about XTC? I like it. I don't hold it, but I do like it. I like the growth. I like the movement. But yeah, I don't hold it. I meant to say, will they reburn CRO? Yes, sorry, I'm driving. No, well, don't text while you're driving. But I appreciate you commenting and asking questions. But yeah, I think they will reburn CRO in the end, when they don't necessarily feel like they need to use the money that's there. It drives a lot of attention when you have 100 billion coins that are out there, and you say, I can reburn 30 billion of it. That drives so much attention and so much FOMO into it, even though it still does sit with us that they can reissue those. It still does see a decent amount of increasing. YouTube did not notify me when you're live. Figures right. I do hold a lot of compound, and just not sure if it might hit $200. I think it will. I think it'll hit $200. Again, we haven't seen the movement in altcoins yet. We've seen some altcoins make moves, but we haven't seen major moves in altcoins overall. Once we see that money trickle down, trust me, you're going to be like, it seems like everything's moving. It seems like there's nothing you can't do wrong with anything that you're investing into. With the fact that we're at a 3.8 trillion dollar market cap, and I still have things in my portfolio that are still negative, right? Things that I bought at very low levels, but not the lowest level possible, and they are still negative, means that we have a lot more room to grow. Just wait, and when you do see altcoin season, when you do see altcoins that fly, um, you're gonna be just shocked at how much you're gonna have in gains, how much many people are gonna have in gains, no matter what you invest into, honestly. But then when you invest into the right things, the gains are just so much more than even what the standard gains are, if that makes sense. So can't wait. Do you do one-on-one trainings? I don't anymore. I used to do one-on-ones and we would just talk about different things, investment styles, investment strategies. Um, but I do one-on-one conversations like through chat, and we could talk about different things that you're investing into. That's what most people reach out to me on. A lot of people come over to Patreon. They're like, the chats are dead. We're not talking in the chats, but there's a lot of people that just basically bypass the group chats and they go to just individual chats, and we'll have individual conversations to say like what they're investing into, what I decided to do, what my plan is there, what I would do in their situation, all of that stuff that's there. um but I would like to get back to a group chat thing because it's so much easier if somebody gets an opinion from the group rather than just from me, right? I don't have to have individual conversations that are going. I don't have to have 20 different conversations that are going at one time, and it feels like I can never get anything done. You ever have um a bunch of people reach out to you, like say if you're I don't know, you're working or whatever, and you have your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, your cousin, like everybody reaching out to you all in separate messages. It's a pain, right? Sorry to say. I don't mean to be like to be complaining about it, because obviously, people go over to Patreon and uh pay whatever they pay, whatever level it is, and they want conversation. It's always great. And honestly, I learned some things from it too, so I take some positive things from it. But it's just, when I'm like with like Harper or Hayden during the day, or I'm playing basketball or whatever, I feel like I can't respond to it. But then when I'm like sitting on the couch, I feel like I have an endless amount of time to just respond and talk to anybody that wants to talk about cryptocurrency or investing. So certain times in the day, I have an endless amount, basically. Other times, I don't have any time to really talk. So then when I get back to it, it's like 10 to 15, maybe even 20 messages that I'm starting to create like a more of a conversation there. However, a group conversation, you would get an opinion from the next person that may know more about, I don't know, Ethereum, right? Or a next person that may know more about metaverse coins or AI coins. What AI coins are you investing into and all that stuff? So it's always great to have those conversations. Don't make it seem like I'm complaining, even though to some extent, I guess I would be. But it varies. Like if you want to reach out to me directly, so there's multiple levels. I think there's like three levels. There's one level that's the like communication level. Basically, you can communicate with me as much as you want, which is only like $5, I think. And then there's the $10 level that includes any of the extra stuff. So any extra videos and posts that I have that are specifically for that, I will put that. And then there's a $20 level that includes my Crypto 101 course, and any other courses that I put in there. Any other things that I talk about that's very educational, I will include in the top thing there. You also get access to my exit plan spreadsheets, which will give you a breakdown of certain cryptocurrencies, and then you can create your own exit plan. It's very simple. But yeah, it varies. What about Jasmy? What is the highest that you think it'll get to? I just talked about it, that I think $1 to $1.50 is what I'm kind of aiming for when it comes to the investment side of things. Now, I don't necessarily think I'm going to use it at all. I don't know how I would even get to that point of implementing myself to use it. As not, I guess I am a business owner, but as not a major business owner that can utilize JasmyCoin when it comes to the data and everything. Um, but I still do think that it has even some more upside past that, depending on where it goes from there, right? It is Japan's Bitcoin. So what do they plan to do with it? How far will that go? Country to country, how far will that go as well? But I do see $1 to $1.50. That's kind of my level where I want to accept it as the investment side of things. Now, I just understand that during that process, I will see 10 cents. I will probably take profit. I see 25 cents, I will take profit. I see a level of 45 to 50 cents, I will take profit. So as from an investment side of things, I have an exit plan to take profit as it does move up. Not all of it, but some of it. And then we see what the ultimate max can be. And that's when I will take whatever profit I believe in the end from that to maybe throw elsewhere. Because again, I don't feel like I'm going to use JasmyCoin in the end, but I feel like it's going to have use. So we'll see, because if that changes as time goes on, as we get more information about things that are being implemented, then it could change my mindset. And then now I have a certain amount of JasmyCoin that I'm going to use, as well as my JasmyCoin that's over here that I'm holding forever. I have 100,000 that's sitting in a wallet that I'm not doing anything with, and I don't plan on doing anything with. Anyways, guys, we're pretty much gonna get out of here. I have a little bit of time to create maybe some videos or something. But I appreciate all the people that are here that took the time out of their day to hit the like button, to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It does help out the channel, helps out growth and all of that. I would love to stream for a lot longer, but it's summertime, and I gotta. I have Harper home with me, and I have she has swimming and basketball and all of these other things that we have to go about doing. So, anyways, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Definitely check out my link down below if you guys are interested in leverage trading. If you're interested in, getting started, learning how to leverage trade. I have educational videos on Patreon as well when it comes to leverage trading and what your mindset should be. Mindset is everything in here. Skill is important, but mindset and discipline are everything. So, again, check out this link for BTCC. You'll get a 10% deposit bonus. Extra bonuses up to $10,055, 40% lower trading fees, and you can trade all the way up to a 500x leverage, which, again, don't recommend. Try and pace yourself, especially if you're just starting out. But I will catch you guys in the next video, in the next live stream. See ya. Give me a second. Jonathan Sanchez says, Matt, do you think XRP will go back down to $2.50 this week? Trying to figure out if I should buy at $3 right now or wait if it will balance back down. So I never want to believe that something's going to come back down, right? Hard, but I do understand that retracements are a big deal, especially in the altcoin side of things. We haven't seen altcoin season flourish, so whenever Bitcoin does have a little bit of a reaction, we tend to see a lot of other things that also, kind of, I don't know, not 2x the reaction, but definitely see a little bit of a elevated reaction to it. So will it come back down to $2.50? I don't think it'll come back down that far, but again, anything could happen. I think $3, the real question you want to ask yourself is, do you believe in XRP above $3? If you believe in it above $3, then maybe buy some and maybe lower your cost basis and buy the other half when it comes back down to maybe, let's say it does get to 250, right? But I don't necessarily see that. Let's go ahead and check the chart really quick. I know we don't have much time, but let's go ahead and check the chart and just maybe look at an extended version of this, because where it currently stands, it's way far away from the 200 EMA, as well as the the 50 moving average. So it's pretty far away from those. Being so far away from it, you typically do see a come back to earth moment. but the 15 moving average, I would say that's probably where you see it come back down to. So there's always a chance you could see it back down to $2.50. I would say $2.65 is what I'm looking for as a kind of a level to bounce off of if it is going to retrace. But that also does depend on how, if we have a continuation of a downfall with Bitcoin. So that would be my answer. On Coinbase, I noticed Jasmy has been trending along with the 3K in volume. Why do you think the uptick in interest? I mean, there's always been interest in JasmyCoin. There's literally always, since it first got listed on Coinbase, there's been interest in JasmyCoin, and they have had a 10 to 30% volume to market cap ratio for most days in the year. So it's not anything different. It's there's always been interest in JasmyCoin, and it will continue to grow. But honestly, I don't know the full reasons why. Like, it's not like, oh, these are the things that are happening, because most information and news from the company or from the project themselves don't really release, and the CEO and everybody don't really release a lot of information on it. So it's not based on news. It's just based on interest for some reason. But anyways, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check out my link for BTCC down below, and I'll catch you guys